Listening to stories is one of the best ways to improve your English. You don't need to study grammar or memorize words. Just enjoy the story, let it wash over you, and your brain will learn naturally. If you like learning this way, remember to like, subscribe, and follow us for new stories every day. He woke up with one simple idea. He didn't want to check his phone. He didn't want to rush to do anything. He just wanted to be happy. But there was one rule. He wasn't going to spend a single coin. It was easy to think of things that needed money: coffee, snacks, transport, little treats, fun experiences. But what about joy? Could joy happen without spending? He got dressed slowly, picking clothes that felt soft and comfortable. No fancy plans, no destinations in mind. Just the city, the sky, and a full day ahead. He left the house with nothing but keys and a small notebook. The air outside was crisp, not cold, not hot. Birds were already active, dancing in the trees above. A soft breeze moved the leaves, and the sun was slowly rising higher, casting long golden lines across the street. He walked with no direction, but with eyes wide open. On a normal day, he might rush to catch a bus or head to a store. But today, he walked as if he had all the time in the world. He passed a bakery and smiled as the smell of warm bread filled the air. He didn't go in. He just let the scent make him feel cozy. Further down the road, he reached a park. It was quiet, not many people yet. The trees stood tall and proud, green and full. He chose a bench under one of the oldest trees and sat down. From that spot, he saw a little dog running in circles in the grass. The owner laughed while trying to catch it. The dog slipped away again, happy and full of energy. The moment was small, but it brought a smile to his face. That smile didn't cost anything. He opened his notebook and wrote a few words. Nothing deep, just thoughts. The paper felt good under his hand. He wasn't trying to write something important. He just enjoyed the feeling of his pen moving across the page. Later, he walked through a part of the city he didn't visit often. The walls here had street art, colorful and full of expression. One wall showed a giant wave with tiny boats floating inside it. Another wall had a person made of flowers instead of skin. These were open-air paintings, free for everyone to enjoy. He stopped to admire them, to study the lines and colors. He wondered who had made them and when. Maybe in the middle of the night, maybe early morning like now. Art with no price tag. At a quiet corner, he found a free public library box, a little wooden cabinet with a glass door, filled with used books. He opened it and looked inside. There were books in different languages, some old, some new. He picked one with a bright red cover and read the first page while standing there. The story pulled him in. He took the book with him, knowing he would return it later. He walked to a small hill outside the city center. It wasn't high, but it gave a nice view of the skyline. He sat down on the grass, opened the book again, and read for a while. Around him, birds flew quietly, and the wind whispered through the grass. It was peaceful, the kind of peace you can't buy. Nearby, a group of kids were flying a kite. The kite danced in the air, moving fast and slow with the wind. One kid laughed so loud that even he laughed too, without meaning to. By noon, he felt hungry, but he didn't worry. He walked toward a nearby community garden he remembered. It was run by volunteers. Sometimes they had fresh herbs and vegetables growing freely. He didn't take anything, but he sat on the wooden bench nearby. The smell of tomatoes and mint made him feel full in a different way. not in the stomach, but in the heart. At one point, he lay on the grass and watched the clouds move across the sky. They were slow, like thoughts drifting. Some were thick and heavy, others were thin like smoke. He tried to find shapes in them. A turtle, a mountain, a face. It was a game he hadn't played since he was a child. As the day went on, he passed by an old man playing the violin on the street. He stood nearby and just listened. The song was soft and a little sad, but full of feeling. He didn't give money. He just gave attention. When the man looked up, their eyes met and they both smiled. That was enough. Later, he reached a part of the city where the trees formed a long green tunnel over the sidewalk. Walking through it felt like stepping into a dream. The light filtered down in little spots, and the sound of the world became quiet. He slowed down again, enjoying every step. At a small plaza, he watched people moving through their day. One person was feeding birds. Another was sketching in a notebook. A couple sat close, sharing silence. A boy rolled past on a skateboard, arms wide open, eyes closed for a second. He found another bench and sat again. His body was a little tired from walking, but his mind felt light. He pulled out his notebook and wrote more. This time he wrote a list, every little thing that had made him smile that day. He wrote about the chalk art he had seen on the sidewalk, the flowers growing from a crack in the pavement, the mural of the wave, the soft grass under his back, the book he had found, the smile of the violin player. The list grew quickly. As the sky started to change color, he walked toward home. The clouds were now orange and pink. A soft wind moved through the city, brushing his hair, touching his face. He stopped one last time near a small bridge and watched the sun disappear behind the buildings. He stood there for a while, thinking. He hadn't bought anything. He hadn't ordered coffee or gone to a show. But he had lived more deeply than most days. He had seen, felt, heard, and noticed, all without spending. And as he walked the last steps toward his door, he smiled to himself. Happiness doesn't always come from more. Sometimes it comes from less. You just listen to a full story in real English. That's how your language grows, by listening, enjoying, and letting English become natural. If you like this story, make sure to like, follow, and come back tomorrow. And ask yourself, what could make you happy today without spending anything?